episode of Whitebeard's Kitchen. I haven't done a video in a few weeks, so here we are. What I'm going to do this evening is jerk chicken. So what we'll do is we'll get cooking, but first of all, your good health, small taste of red wine. It's Friday evening and I don't have work tomorrow. Okay folks, so for the sauce I have 2.5 Scotch Bonnets. I've just ever so slightly diced them a bit. I've got 2 tablespoons of olive oil going in. I have a small onion, just roughly chopped up. Remember, this is all being blended. Now what I have is, and the skin on, 2 inches of ginger. I have 11 garlic cloves going in. I have 5 really good sized scallions. Again, I just roughly chopped those. That's those in. I have just roughly about 1/4 of a green bell pepper. This is optional, this is just me, or we would call it a green pepper here. I have roughly about 8 sprigs of thyme going in. I've removed all the lovely little leaves from the stems, very few, so no stems going in hopefully. I'm putting in the juice of a lime, which is a small lime. Now I have going in is the spices, and I've got my brown sugar here as well. So I have 3 tablespoons of brown sugar going in. I have roughly 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. I don't have pimento, so I'm using 2 tablespoons of allspice, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of sea salt. I might put more black pepper in. I can taste that. I'll taste it and see. As I say, I've added the olive oil in. Just going to make sure that's all in. As I say, 2 tablespoons. And what I have here going in, it's a 1/2 cup, and that's made up of 1/4 cup of light soy sauce and also 1/4 cup of vinegar. It's ready. I'm going to put this onto a high. Okay, so I'm just going to check this. I want it to be a bit coarse, I don't want it to be too fine. Okay, so just take the lid off. I'm just going to give it a slight taste. See what it's like. Yep, that's absolutely wonderful. And obviously, it'll not be as raw once it cooks out. Okay, just another 10 seconds. And that'll be. There we are. So that's the jerk chicken sauce done. Pretty straightforward and from scratch. So here we are folks. Now just about to marinate the chicken. I have roughly about 8 chicken breasts here. Well, sorry, 6. I tell lies. 6 chicken breasts. So I'm just going to pour all the marinade, the bulk of it in. I'm going to leave a little bit to the side, probably about 1/2 cup. If it starts to dry up, which I doubt it will, what I'll do is I can always add that while the chicken's cooking. So because of the Scotch Bonnets, I'm just going to give this a really good mix. I was going to go in my hands, but you know what chilies are like. And Scotch Bonnets are pretty spicy. Give this a good mix through. And once I've got this well coated, I'm going to pop this into the fridge for at least 2 hours. Ideally, really, if you could get to do this overnight, that would be great. If you want to use, say, the likes of chicken thighs, with bone-in, chicken drumsticks, legs of chicken, by all means do that. And you could actually score it, those pieces with the skin and bone on. And so that if you score it, means then the spices will even, use this word, lovely word, permeate the chicken even more. So there we are. So put that in. Throw a couple of bits on the top. There we are. So that's it. This will go now into the fridge for 2 hours. Okay folks, so the chicken has been marinating for 2 hours, so I have actually got parchment paper. I'm going to bake this in the oven, 180 degrees centigrade. I'll let you work that out in Fahrenheit. I'm putting parchment paper in because I don't want to use tin foil but in case it sticks, and I don't want my chicken, obviously chunks of it being left in the good old baking trays. So I'm just going to put the chicken in piece by piece, get it in very quickly. Keep it apart, and that will go in a fan oven at 170 degrees. I'm going to actually put that in, so if I was doing this in a conventional oven, then apologies, it would be 190 degrees. I'm going to bake it probably for about 30-35 minutes. I put tin foil over it, and maybe in the last 10 minutes I will take the tin foil off, but I'm just going to let you see this as it goes in now into the pan or into the baking trays. So make sure it's all out. There we are. Spread them out a bit. I'm not worried about some of the sauce going down the side. So I'm glad I left that little bit of extra marinade. So I'm just going to drizzle some of this over what's left in the bowl. And this smells absolutely wonderful, it really does. If the chicken wasn't raw, I would probably start eating it almost right away. But not a good idea. I will check this to make sure that obviously every cooker is slightly different. This extra little bit of marinade will do the chicken breasts on this side. Make sure they're well spread out. And hopefully my little bit of parchment paper, as I say, will prevent any sticking, and if there's any juices that run down into the actual baking tray itself, that's fine, it's okay. That can be used to drizzle over. We'll put these into the oven and we'll see how they turn out. What I am going to do with this evening is spicy wedges. I'll give you the rundown on, it's my own kind of mix. And everybody uses obviously different mix, so I'm going to use spicy wedges, not from a Jamaican perspective, but I might add some allspice to this just to give it that maybe Jamaican influence. So as I say, we'll sort those out later, and the chicken goes to the oven. So folks, this is a little spice that I've made up for my potato wedges that I'm going to do along with the jerk chicken. And so what I have in this is a heaped teaspoon of onion powder, a heaped teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, a teaspoon and a half of paprika. I have a teaspoon of oregano, and just to make maybe that wee bit of a Jamaican influence that I haven't done before, but I've added in just now, is a good teaspoon of a allspice and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and the other thing is a half teaspoon of black pepper and a teaspoon of salt. Just mix this all together. This will go on the potato wedges, so hopefully this will be a nice subtly spiced potato wedges and the lovely jerk chicken as well. Okay folks, so here we are. This is just normal plain white potato. I've obviously just washed them, and I had parboiled them for about 5 minutes. So when they came to the boil, I let them boil for about 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is that little spice mix that I had mentioned to you, just going to sprinkle this over. I have oil in the pan for the potatoes. I don't want to overkill the potatoes, I want to taste the potatoes. So just sprinkle this over. That should be enough. Two ways of doing this, and is, I know these potatoes are quite warm, so what I do is I just mix this round, make sure as much of the potatoes are coated. And these, by the way, I should say, are from our garden, where my darling wife and my stepson Charlie, what do you call it, are the green-fingered people in the house, and this is our first little crop of potatoes. So there we are, so kind of semi-self-sufficient in this house at home. So those will go into the oven. They will go in at roughly about 220 degrees centigrade. They will go in for approximately 40 minutes. Again, I just keep an eye on them to make sure, and maybe just give them a quick turn. So that's those ready to go in, and that will be us. The chicken hopefully won't be too long until it's ready. And then I can just keep that warm. Well everyone, this is my version of jerk chicken. I should say, I've done this recipe, and particularly a new subscriber, I'm going to name him, I hope he doesn't mind, David Temple. So David just joined recently and he liked some of my recipes and he'd said to me about doing jerk chicken. I have done it, David. Just to say, I haven't made it as spicy as you might like or I might like. It's because, what do you call it, there are some people at home that don't like it too spicy food. It is spicy enough. I've had a lick of the sauce. So I'm just going now to let this rest. I have waiting on my potato wedges. And then that will be me ready to eat. Rather late, but however. Hope you like the recipe, folks. I'll be back and I'll show you it on a plate. It's going to be rough and ready. I'm not into great presentation. I believe in the taste of the food and get it into you as quickly as possible. Well, folks, this is my jerk chicken, along with my little spicy wedges with a slight Caribbean element where I've added allspice and some nutmeg and cinnamon. I forgot to mention nutmeg, then I added to my little mix for the potatoes. The chicken's really, really moist. That is, my goodness, absolutely beautiful. Chicken's really moist. The spice is absolutely just perfect. It's bang on, as I would say. Not overly hot for people in the house. Without further ado, if you like the recipe, please do try it. First and foremost, and if you like it, give me a thumbs up, and please do subscribe to the channel. I will say bye for now. Have a good evening, weekend, whatever. Rock on, and I'll see you soon.